Have you tried diet after diet without finding long-term success? Well, believe it or not, it's not you. So many people think they know what they need to do to get healthy, but there's so much misinformation out there that many of us are sabotaging our health goals without even knowing it. Hi, I'm Carrie, a wife, mom, educator, and certified nutrition coach. After being frustrated by dieting and all the confusion out there about what actually works, I decided to figure it out. And what I discovered on my journey challenged everything I thought I knew about nutrition. And the solution is actually much simpler than you realize. So now, I'm on a mission to disrupt everything you think you know about nutrition too. Welcome to the Diet Disruptors Podcast. Today's podcast is brought to you by Disruptive Nutrition's Trifecta Transformation. If you are really ready to see different results, you have to do something different. Our invite-only exclusive program is unlike anything you've ever experienced before. Think of it as nutrition and life coaching thrown together with unwavering targeted support, personalized programming, and a way to finally organize, well, your entire life. Because if we can't do something forever, we shouldn't be doing it now. So we have to teach you how to show up differently for yourself in ways you likely haven't ever done before. We don't tell you what to eat. We teach you how to fuel your body in the way that it needs. We don't tell you what to do. We show you, coach you, and support you to make sure it works for your life, your schedule, for your goals. But teaching you how to eat isn't enough because we know it's our thoughts and our beliefs that dictate our actions. If you don't take this journey of self-awareness with us, you won't recognize your triggers and your mindsets that might be holding you back. The relationship you have with your body, with food, and with your value all stem from your beliefs and what you tell yourself. If we don't support you in that part of your journey, knowing how to eat will never be enough to make lasting change. And let's face it, life is crazy and we can't always control our circumstances. Busy women tend to put themselves last when the chaos ensues, and we end up back where we started, frustrated, defeated, and tired. While you may be feeling motivated at one point, experience reminds us that motivation doesn't last, and eventually we just give up when things get too hard. That's why with our Trifecta Transformation, we will teach you how to keep going even when the motivation wanes. And we do that really well. We have a saying around here, you can't always control your circumstances, but you can control your response. And we show you how to do just that. Our success rate is high, and that's because what we teach is right. It's simple and it's transformational. But it's also because we only invite those who we believe are truly committed and ready to make the change. So if you are interested, go to our website at disruptivenutrition.com and book a free call with a coach today to see if this approach is a good fit for you. Well, hey there, Diet Disruptors. Carrie here, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, the Diet Disruptors Podcast. And you can see, if you're watching me live right now, we stream live in our free Facebook group, Diet Disruptor Squad. If you're not in there, you got to go in there and check it out. If you're in there, say squad in the comments if you're watching live or on the replay. We also stream this live into our YouTube channel. If you are not in our YouTube channel, go subscribe there. It's at Disruptive Nutrition. And we're also in our Facebook page, Disruptive Nutrition. And we also stream excerpts of this in our Instagram page, which is Disruptive Nutrition. Just go follow all the things. Anyway, if you're watching this instead of listening to this, because we also are in wherever your podcasts are, but the audio version of that, which is great because you can just listen to it while you're driving, wherever you get your podcasts, make sure you go in and subscribe to that and then put a review in there so other people can find us and learn right alongside you. But if you're watching on video, you see, where is she? Where is she, like in a tunnel? Well, this is my little tiny office space, which is actually great for podcasting because it is so tiny and you kind of get a little funny view of it. See, I ran into a massive camera problem today. I don't know why, but my actual camera that I normally use just isn't working. And it's like there's this lapse between the sound and the camera. And I honestly, I had to get on. So I was like, well, we're just going to use my computer now. So we're using my computer camera, but at least I got my good mic here and hopefully everything you guys can hear and all of that. So yeah, you can see like my little, I love my office. It's actually super organized. It's exactly what I need in a little corner of our house. And I get tucked away and I can work. It's brilliant. So today we are going to dig into a topic that I get asked a lot, and I don't think I've ever done a podcast on this because I don't actually know why. I was brainstorming with my team what podcast we need to do, and this came up actually a few times recently, and I was like, I could do a podcast on this. We're going to talk all things calories today. People get all, I don't know, like when we really think about calories, we just got to think, what do we really know about them? What are they? And why do they matter so much? Or do they matter so much? And Carrie, if you keep saying it's not about calories in versus calories out, why not? What is it based on? Because we have been hearing for like all of our lives that calories matter. In fact, if we go to like restaurants, they'll show calories on their menus. And so if they don't matter, then why are they there? And what about the calories that I'm burning in the gym? It's a calorie conundrum. That's what we're going to dig into today. And why is it that I don't deal with calories? That I don't that have to have my clients deal with calories? That it's not even really part of the equation to be able to get healthy, to be able to release weight, to be able to do all the things that you wanted the diets to do, all of that stuff. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible because the truth of the matter is you don't even need to worry about calories. And I think maybe that's why I've never really done it before because it's like it doesn't matter. If you do the other things that we talked to you about, then you don't ever have to count another calorie ever again for the rest of your life, which is so nice. But I just think it's like people are like, "Wait, what? Calories matter." All right. So let's talk about what calories are, first of all. So calories really are the amount of energy that's in food. And I think we know this. Like, I think we know, like, if you really dug into it, because I've said this to people before, 250 calories of Oreo cookies is not the same as 250 calories of like grilled chicken on a salad or turkeys and almonds and an apple or, clean whole unprocessed food. The calories from that is different from the calories in like processed food, but they're not really different, right? Like if you're counting calories and you give yourself 800 calories a day, 1200 calories a day, 2000 calories a day, whatever it is, and you're assigning a value to this food of calories, then the whole like, well, I know 250 calories of Oreo cookies is not the same as 250 calories of this, but it's still calories in versus calories out. So I can just have the Oreo cookies and it doesn't matter. It's like the Weight Watchers thing. Points are just bougie ways of saying calories. It's like energy in food. And there's a couple of reasons why 250 calories of Oreo cookies is not the same as 250 calories of turkey's almond and apple. I'm just going to use that example for once. One, the amount of energy in food, it 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 kind of like it kind of matters, but it really doesn't because when you're understanding how to balance your blood sugar and you're eating in the way that we teach PFC every 3, then the calories just kind of take care of themselves. Okay? So, if I actually looked at clean whole unprocessed food and 250 calories of that, I'm just throwing out that number, 250 calories, it actually means nothing to me. And then 250 calories of Oreo cookies. The difference is not in the energy of the food, it is in the nutrients of the food. Your body is not, it is not about you are what you eat. It's actually you are what you absorb. And if your body is bringing in refined sugar on a regular basis, like Oreo cookies, your body just cannot process that food the way it can process clean, whole, unprocessed food. It just can't. It absorbs nutrients like fruits and vegetables and clean proteins and fats in a very different way than it absorbs something like ultra processed foods. So just in how well you absorb that is a massive difference in calories, because calories have nothing to do with anything around the quality of the food. It's not like 250, like the Oreo cookie has a higher level of calories because it is an ultra processed food. It isn't. It's the amount of energy in food, basically. And when you think about that, well, that makes sense, right? Like, I'm not going to absorb the nutrients of an Oreo cookie because there are no nutrients in it. Now, I always say food is not good or bad. Food serves our body and food serves our soul. That on for a regular person in a regular life situation is not serving their body. Now, if you were on Survivor and there was literally nothing to eat other than Oreo cookies, then that serves your body. Get it? Does it serve your body? Does it serve your soul? Oreo cookies typically are a soul serving food. And if that's your thing, you definitely need that because we have to serve our soul. Food is memories and fellowship and family and all of that, and that's super important. But the reason why I will never say it's good or bad is because it's just so binary. And when we eat something bad, it's labeled as bad. We feel bad. We feel guilty. If it's unhealthy, we feel guilty. Well, Oreo cookies, if that's the only thing you have on a deserted island, might be the very thing that saves your life. So then that is body serving. That is healthy for you, right? Because you want that versus nothing. If you are in an area of the country, and unfortunately there are so many of these, that it's like a food desert where we have no good grocery stores and it's lots of fast food and you literally have nothing prepared in your bag, anything other than say Taco Bell, and you are hungry and your blood sugar is low, Taco Bell suddenly becomes something that's serving your body. Even though normally I would say if you're going to go with it's Taco Bell, it better be a soul-filling endeavor. And I always say, like, we can't serve our soul more than we serve our body because that's like trying to have Christmas every day and we wouldn't even appreciate it and we'd be broke and we wouldn't get anything done in life. Okay. I feel like that was a little bit of a sidebar. So calories in a ultra processed food is just simply not going to absorb in our body. But here's the other big thing. We know that all food is protein, fat, and carbs, right? So if you're eating a meal that is all carbs, let's just say it's all bread, for example, and it's the same amount of calories as my turkey, almonds, and an apple example. Of course, I don't just eat turkey, almonds, and apple. I don't want people like being like, oh, Carrie just talks about turkeys, almond, and apple. It's just like rolling off my tongue. I mean, you can make anything you want. An omelet, you can have a sandwich, you can have like a burger. I don't care, whatever it is. Like we're having pasta and meat sauce, protein, fat, and carb. Okay. Now, that being said, so let's go with my pasta and meat sauce example, okay? So I typically do Banza pasta because my kids don't even know the difference, even though they said they did. And then I tricked them and told them it was regular pasta. And they were like, see, I like this better. And I'm like, see, it's actually chickpea pasta, but whatever. So let's just say I had a whole bowl of pasta, or I had pasta with ground turkey and sauce, okay? It could be the same exact amount of calories, but because one is all carbs, it's going to spike my blood sugar. And when I spike my blood sugar, I go through something called glycation. Glycation is actually this act of your body trying to store that extra glucose. It only can store it in two places, your liver and in your muscles. Okay. So after that, if it goes above and beyond that, it's like, whoa, we got too much here. And it's got to go find other places to store it. It's like you don't have enough room in your house with your closet. So you got to like throw your clothes in like your living room. So where does it store that extra glucose? In your fat cells, because it's trying to protect you. Otherwise, it's just going to like go all over the place. In addition to when you glycate, you have to store fat. You also start releasing free radicals. And free radicals are like little lightning bolts that zap all the cells in your body, even the good ones. And so that causes oxidative stress. And oxidative stress can be the leading contributor to high cholesterol, high blood pressure, any sort of heart disease, even stroke and cancer. Like it's debilitating. And every time we glycate, we actually age faster. So we're actually speeding up the age train. We ate the same amount of calories. One was all carbs, One was a protein, fat, and carb. But the one that was a protein, fat, and carb, even though it was the same amount of calories, didn't spike our blood sugar. And because of that, we are getting our body into homeostasis, which is balance. When our body is in hormonal balance, then everything works better. Our energy levels are up. And in addition, let's even talk about you get that blood sugar spike, just like a roller coaster. What goes up high comes down real fast. And so you get on a blood sugar spike, bam, you go down lower than you ever should. And now you're hungrier, faster, and you have all sorts of energy issues. And low blood sugar causes a whole other host of problems. So do you see how those amount of calories, even though they're the same, actually one is wreaking havoc on your body and the other is actually serving your body? That is a perfect example as to why calories in versus calories out doesn't matter. It takes care of itself when you understand the balance. Now, what is the balance? Well, that's where it's like everybody is a little bit different. And you got to kind of figure a few things out to be able to do that well. But the general rule of thumb is like, if you are eating PFC3 and you're hungry within 3 hours, if your energy is high, if you're sleeping better, then you can be pretty like, okay, I think I'm doing okay on this thing, right? Now we adjust. And of course, like we're a refuel as you go machine. So if you're working out a lot compared to somebody that literally maybe just walks around their kitchen island, then that is where it's not about calories in versus calories out. But if we're a refuel as you go machine and you're working out, you don't want to put your body at a deficit. So if most people, 99% of the people that we work with, even if you're doing CrossFit every day, are not, if you're fueling your body in the way that we teach, we don't have to do that much different, but we have to just listen to your body a little. If you are a endurance athlete, and we work with endurance athletes, and we really have to configure a few things because, again, refuel as you go machine. Yes, you are burning a ton of calories. You are burning calories when you work out. The calories that you're burning in your body is really a different measure than the calories that you're eating in food. We've already talked about how the calories in food are completely different. So how is it that the calories you're burning are the same exact thing as the calories that you ate? They're not. We just need to stop. The only time I ever look at calories like on my watch when I'm exercising, it's just as a comparison. So if I worked out an hour yesterday and I worked out an hour today, and yesterday I burned 300 calories and today I burned 500 calories, I'm like, oh, that was a bigger workout for me. That's it. That's the only type of, it's the amount of energy that I've exerted, right? And if you ever forgot to turn off your watch when you were working out and you're like, holy heck, this happened to me actually today. I did my workout, I went in the sauna, and then I walked my dogs, and it was like I burned like 1,200 calories. It was so funny. I had my watch on forever for a really long time. So, and I mean beyond like even doing those things. Or sometimes I'll just like forget to turn it off and I just get on with my life. And you can see I burned a lot of calories that day. It doesn't have, you don't need to integrate it in with the food at all. In fact, it's just too confusing. Like, you need to do this much math? It doesn't work. All of you that have counted calories for all these years, it's not working, right? And how much brain power and time is it taking up every time you enter in your food in an app? I just like want to be like, your life is so much more purpose driven than that. We have to stop. And so when I'm thinking about calories and that we're a refuel as you go machine, even if you're not working out and you just leave your watch on, you see how many calories you're burning. Of course, you need to fuel your body. It's like driving your car and thinking you could just run it on fumes. Nothing thrives in a deficit. Though we have been taught you have to put yourself at a caloric deficit. But when you really think about it, and this is what I want you to do, I want every one of our clients and our followers to be their own nutrition coaches. I want you to question if the things that I do just because they have said it, who's they, is it really right? Because if it's not working for you, if you're still struggling, if you're having cravings, if you're having weight gain, if you're not sleeping well, if you have energy issues, maybe it's not doing the same thing over and over again, but actually taking a different approach. And by not, people get freaked out when I'm like, we don't have to worry about calories. Calories just take care of themselves, right? There isn't an amount of energy in food. And so if we even went with my pasta and meat example, or my turkeys, almonds, and apple, if we ate a crazy amount of it at one sitting, we're going to be taking in more food than our body can handle at that given moment. Does that mean we're taking in more calories than we should? Sure. But it doesn't matter if you say more food, more calories, more protein, fats, and carbs, whatever it is. It's just more than your body can handle. And you're going to spike your blood sugar because you're eating more than your body can actually take at that time. It's like trying to fill up your car extra. It can only take what it can take. And so getting that balance is what we do really well at Disruptive Nutrition, but that's what you want to go for. So it's like understanding that, yeah, you can take in larger than portions than what your body can burn in 3 hours. And so you're taking in more calories than you're burning, but that's not about like purposely putting your body at a caloric deficit, especially compared to what you're doing in working out. Is this making sense? Is And I think this is why it's just sort of like it's a non-issue. And I want people to really start questioning, why do I do what I do? I once had a friend say to me, um, I'm not Catholic, but I used to be Catholic actually a really long time ago, but I have friends that are Catholic, and they weren't eating fish. I'm sorry, they weren't eating meat during Lent. I, I'm a woman of faith. I'm a Christian woman, but I'm not a Catholic. I'm Shout out to all the Catholics out there. I no issues with being Catholic. I do think that this is a good example though. So my friends were like, we can't eat meat on Fridays. And I was like, why can't you eat meat on Fridays? I legitimately didn't know. I was just wondering. And she said, because it's Lent. And I'm like, okay, so why? And they looked at each other. They're like, we have no idea. And I'm like, well, why do you do it? I don't know. We just always have. And I'm like, are you going to go to hell if you don't? And she's like, I don't know. And so I'm like, well, I feel like you should know why you're doing something. And so it was so funny because then I actually went and talked to the priest at church, and they got educated, and it was great. And they still do that, but now they know why they're doing it. And it's almost like this quote unquote, they have always told me, the dieting industry, my culture, whatever it is, do we just like believe it? And whenever I say to women, what thrives in a deficit? Name one thing that thrives in a deficit. It's like a light bulb goes off and they're like, yeah. Oh, I've just always heard I should do it this way. And I'm like, so let's start questioning that a little bit and start wondering if that's really what our body needs. Because I think about women that will tell me all the time, like, I've dieted my way to diabetes. I've dieted my way to 300 pounds. I've been dieting my whole life, and I have metabolic disease. I have diabetes. I have high blood pressure. I have high cholesterol. And it's like, okay, at what point are we going to realize that that's not working? And I think the problem is so many of us just don't know what else to do. But if anything, I hope you're like just looking at this and saying, okay, I shouldn't just take this for face value. There's very like, if we look at research, and I'm going to get into this in another podcast because the study came out on intermittent fasting, and I can't wait. Can't wait to talk about that. But when we look at any studies that are done around nutrition, health and wellness, and weight loss, it is every single study. You cannot fund a study um, over really around this over decades. And even more than that, it's people you are studying, people around food, people who are very inconsistent around food. And it